with the 2024 Tesla Model 3, you've got 3 trims. You've got the standard rear wheel drive, you've got the long range all-wheel drive, or you got the performance all-wheel drive. And I have right here the 24 Model 3 long range all-wheel drive. And was it worth picking this up? I was going to say, was it worth picking up this device? And yes, it kind of is a device. It's a pretty large device, but was it worth picking up this car when you have the standard rear wheel as well as the performance on the market right now? And in short, for me, it was worth it. However, the performance may draw some more customers because after the tax incentives, which is only eligible with the performance, then it comes to about the same price as the long range. In fact, it may be a little bit cheaper depending on how you configure your performance. Do keep in mind, if you pass 55K with the performance, you're not eligible for that tax incentive. But here's the thing. With the long range, you're getting an EPA of 341 miles and 272 miles for the standard rear wheel drive. And I'm going to call it the standard range from now on. Rear wheel is just a tongue twister for me. Now, 341 EPA, but the most I've gotten is 333. And it does change from driver to driver. It all depends on how you drive. And EPA is the max 341. And again, if I had the standard, I probably wouldn't get 272. I'd probably get like maybe 260-ish, something around the lines of that. So that's just something you have to keep in mind when you're looking at the EPAs. You may get the max EPA, you may not. I don't. I certainly don't. I'm about 8 miles short, 333 to 341. I'm about 8 miles short. Now, when it comes to long range, it's all-wheel drive. It's something I appreciate, especially in the winter. You may live in an area where you don't even have a winter. Like you may live down south in Florida. I live in upstate, up New York. So winter here is like, it's not the greatest. And when I say not the greatest, it's pretty harsh. Although surprisingly, this winter was not that bad. The interior is the same with no real difference between the standard and the long range. If you do upgrade to performance, then you will get some interior upgrades. The faster 0 to 60 with the long range at 4.2 seconds versus the standard 5.8 shouldn't be a reason to upgrade. At least for me, it wasn't. Like either way, this car picks up really quick. The main reason that I went and got this specific trim was because of its name, long range. The EPA, let's talk strictly compare the EPAs, 272 to 341. Yes, I'm getting about let's say 20 from there, about 61, like 60 to 70 miles. I'm not going to do the math right now, but about 70-ish miles extra. And when I charge this device, I'll just say this device, when I charge the Model 3 to 80%, I don't charge to 100%, I charge to 80%, I'm getting about 266 miles of range. So I'm already almost at the EPA at 80% with this. And on a normal, if I'm not going on a long road trip, daily commute to work or to grocery shopping, this does last me about a week without needing to put it back in charge. So long range has also helped with me on my road trips. Like I said, 266 miles, about 80%. That's almost the EPA for the standard. And not only that, I like to travel and go on road trips. And I already passed 4,000. I'm nearing 5,000 miles on this. So definitely goes to show I like driving my car a lot. So having a long range has definitely come in clutch. I took this on a 400-mile road trip and I only stopped once. I took it on a 180-mile and I comfortably was able to get to my destination without needing to worry about sitting and charging the vehicle while I'm out, traveling. So I've really come to like having the extra miles. But I'll put it this way. It all comes down to your usage. I feel like most people will, be okay with the standard rear wheel drive and get away with that, especially if they just plan on using it mainly for daily commute to work and for groceries and whatnot, just to, for local travels. Do keep in mind, at the time of this recording, only the performance model is eligible for a $7,500 tax incentive. And also do remember that if you want to lease a Tesla, there isn't a buyout option at the end of the lease. So once the lease is done, either you gotta give up the vehicle and switch to a different vehicle, or just purchase a brand new Tesla. So it really comes down to your usage and how you see things. And I've seen rumors indicating that the long range and the standard range will be eligible in the future for the 7,500 tax incentive, but for now it's not. And also, you still have your state tax incentives. New York is only like $500, but I've seen other states with like $2,000 plus of a state incentive. So that may be a reason to pick up a Model 3 long range or even the standard range. And also the standard range is a little bit cheaper when it comes down to price. But again, overall, I think it was worth it, at least for me. Again, this does change from driver and user to user. At the time I picked this up, when it went on, I think it went on like pre-order, or it went on sale the morning of January 9th, like going into like the second week of January, it went on sale, and it only had the standard and the long range. There was no performance that came out at the end of April, so I didn't really have that option anyway. And when I picked this up, it wasn't 47 and some change. Right now it was like in the 44, so it was about $3,000 cheaper, so that's a huge plus right now. So even if I did pick up the performance, I got the tax incentive, I got the state incentive, I'd still be paying more for the performance than I did for the long range. I do wish that this was eligible for the 7,500. That would have been phenomenal. I think a lot more people would have been on board. You would see more and more Model 3 refreshes on the road with the standard and long range. But I feel like that push has been initiated for the performance. I feel like we're going to see a lot of performance models out on the road, and they're starting to get delivered to customers, and I'm seeing it all over Twitter, and I'm actually excited for them. I'm not too bummed out anymore that I didn't pick up the performance. I'm very happy with my car. I would have liked to have those sports seats, and maybe 0 to 60 in 2.9 sounds cool, top speed of 165, but that stuff it's okay. It's okay. I love this car. I'm super happy with it. I think it's personally worth it. And I also think it's worth it for me because I'm making videos on the car. I'm not spending any gas, obviously, but I'm also not spending any on electricity, essentially, because my apartment complex is complimentary charging, so I don't need to pay for charging, and I don't need to supercharge because when I'm local, again, I just charge it when I need to at my apartment complex. Again, if I go on a road trip, then I will charge, and even then it's significantly cheaper than gas. So there's also that too. And the fact that my main YouTube channel, MTG Productions, where I do review tech, that has grown to a point where I'm able to obviously afford purchasing a new vehicle, and it helps with my other expenses as well. So for those of you, just like a side note, for those of you who are interested in getting into YouTube, definitely get into it. There's no better time than to do it right now, and just start making content on what you enjoy. If you want to do faceless YouTube channels, go ahead and do that. If you want to make videos about cars, go and do that. Videos about tech, go and do that. Lifestyle, whatever it is, just start. You're missing out on what great opportunities YouTube has to hold. And it's not just YouTube. It opens doors to affiliate marketing. It opens doors to brand deals, sponsorships. I worked with a lot of companies that I've always dreamed of working with: Samsung, Google, OnePlus, a bunch of case and accessories, charging accessories, Anchor, banks, ESR. I've worked with Mint Mobile. I've worked with Aura. I've worked with a bunch of great brands because of YouTube. Anyway, that's not the point of this video. Short story, this is worth it. Definitely be sure to check it out and see which Model 3 trim is the right one for you. And if you're looking for a Model Y, I'd say hold on just a little bit longer if you can wait one more year for the Model Y refresh. But that's been it for me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. If you did enjoy, definitely be sure to subscribe to the channel. Take care.